Hey everybody, I'm Adrian Bustamante and welcome to Food Deconstructed. This week we're deconstructing one of America's favorite dishes, the cheeseburger. This, our final recipe, is going along with the rest of them. It's something a little bit different this week, so we're going to do a cheeseburger souffle. So the first thing we're going to start off with is a few of our ramekins. Now we're going to be, actually once everything's all done, all this is going to go into our small little ramekin here. Now what you would normally do is you would butter a ramekin and place a little bit of sugar around the edge of it. So when the souffle is rising in the oven, the actual souffle uses the sugar as almost like a ladder per se to kind of rise up in the oven on that. But instead of sugar, we'll be using some Parmesan cheese to kind of keep in the cheeseburger realm and keep it a little savory for ourselves. So we're going to take a little bit of butter. Just run it along the inside here. Can't have too much here. So there we go. And then we're going to take some shredded Parmesan cheese, getting it along the edges here, creating those stepping stones. Okay, now we're going to place all four of those in this deep baking dish and set them aside for a little bit later. So here we go, our next step. We're going to take our saucepan here, put a little bit of heat underneath it. In that saucepan is going to go some of our milk, as well as some cornstarch, some mustard powder, black pepper, horseradish, paprika. Oh, look at that color. And once that's in there, we're going to start to whisk. Now you're going to whisk this for roughly about 2 minutes or so. You'll see it start to come to a little bit of boil. When it's coming to that boil, keep whisking. Make sure all that cornstarch is whisked through, as well as the paprika, the pepper. While you're whisking, you'll start to see this thicken up on yourself, and it'll also come to a boil. So I'm just going to lower the heat. We are good there. Now, next piece of the puzzle, bring this bowl back in. And we're going to take some white bread cubes that we've cut up here. If you don't like the crust, you can take them off, but we've left some in for ourselves. We're going to take our mixture and pour them over the bread cubes. You want to coat every bread cube that's in there. All right. I'm just going to mix this around a little bit again using a spoon. I don't want to, normally I would use my hand, but since this is a little extra hot right now, I don't feel like getting any third-degree burns, so we'll just mix it up. I don't really want to mash, I just want to mix. And we'll be good there. All right, let's switch it up here. So we're gonna bring our skillet in and we're gonna cook a little bit of diced bacon. So I'm gonna put some heat to this, keep it on low, bring the bacon down. Now again, just another piece of this puzzle that you'll see. You're gonna probably start asking yourself, when does all this come together into a souffle? And believe me, by the end of this, you'll see how this all works out. This. Again, I'm not going to use any oil for this one. I'm just going to let the bacon cook in its own fat. We might just use those drippings when we cook our meat. All right, while that's cooking, we're going to move on to our ground beef. All right. Throw a little bit of butter in that pan. Throw a little heat on. We're going to bring in our ground beef. Again, a little 80-20 ground beef. Again, 80% lean meat, 20% fat. For a little bit of flavor. So I'm going to move that piece of butter around, let it coat the whole pan, let it melt down a little bit before I throw this ground beef in. And then I'm going to cook this down until all the pink's gone. And I'm also going to keep an eye on my bacon as this kind of moves along. And what we're also going to do is we're going to throw this in too. So we're going to add some onions to this as well. So I'm going to let these onions saute. We'll let that cook just a little bit before I throw that in. Again, keeping an eye on this bacon. Like I said, we're going to cook this down until all the pink's gone, and then we'll move along with this puzzle. All right, so our ground beef is just about done. Our bacon is done. We're gonna bring back in our milk and bread mixture. We're gonna place this in another bowl. Take this wooden spoon, and I'm gonna mash this bread down now. It should be pretty well soaked, so it shouldn't take much effort to actually mash this down. But once it is, we're gonna add our bacon and our ground beef and onion to it. Good? All right. There's one. And here will be two. Now I'm gonna make sure this is mixed well. See that crispy bacon, that meat. This is gonna be one savory souffle. Now, once this is mixed, I'm gonna let it cool, because what I'm gonna also do is I'm gonna add my 3 egg yolks and my cheddar cheese to this mixture, but I wanna make sure that I don't cook my eggs by putting it in with this hot meat, so I am gonna let it cool probably for about 10 minutes or so. So now, we're gonna take some egg whites and beat them to a glossy peak. All right, good. We're locked in, and we're gonna start off nice and easy. Now, this makes my life so much easier. You can obviously beat your egg whites with a whisk if you want, but this, a hand mixer or anything like that, will take that 10-minute process and turn it into easily a 1 to 2 minute process. Okay, those egg whites are all done. Now I'm gonna add my 3 egg yolks and my cheddar cheese. This mixture is coming together quite nicely. Now once that's all mixed together, we're now gonna fold in our egg whites, and I'll go through that here in 1 second. So now it's time to fold our egg whites in. Now we're gonna add 1/3 of the egg whites to this just to kind of acclimate itself in and also lighten up this mixture. We're gonna go from the base of the bowl and give it a nice little fold, give it a turn. Base all the way to the middle, same thing all the way through. Now it's gonna be a nice, slow process. And I promise you, it will slowly incorporate inside the mixture. But just give it that time it needs to kind of get in there and help lighten this up a little bit. So once that's all mixed together, we're going to add the rest of our egg whites in and continue to fold. And that's looking good. So we're all done folding there. We're gonna bring our ramekins back into the picture. All right, now we're gonna spoon this mixture into our ramekins. Now you're gonna go about halfway up to 2/3 of the way up in your ramekin. So it gives it a little bit of room to rise while it's in the oven. Now once these are all filled, we're gonna put it in the oven about 350 degrees for about 25 minutes. Just keep an eye on it, you'll start to see it rise. I'm thinking this is gonna be good, guys. I like savory dishes and a little twist on sweet dishes, so I think this is gonna be good. I'm gonna take these to the oven, be right back. All right, and we're back. Now, the final piece of the puzzle, we're gonna make our ketchup sauce to put over the top of our souffle. Really simple, we're just gonna add a few things here. Ketchup, obviously. Some molasses. Give it a little bit of a dark, rich flavor. Some hot sauce. Some mustard. All right. Some salt. And some sugar. I'll whisk this together, making sure nothing burns while it's on the heat. Shouldn't take much. Just give it a little heat, a little whisking. You got yourself a sauce. All right, so you just keep whisking it. Doesn't take much time. Once I'm done with it and take it off the heat, I'm gonna add some mayo to it, and that'll be our sauce. So I'm just gonna keep whisking for a little bit, keep an eye on my souffle, and we'll be back to taste and see how this goes. Oh, our souffle's out of the oven. our ketchup sauce is done. So let's see how this tastes, huh? I'm gonna put a little bit of this ketchup sauce just along the edge here so I can get a little bit of a bite. It rose just like I was hoping. Nice airy filling. This is hot, just came out of the oven, so. No, it's good. It's not, you know, again, this was another one that I was a little wary about in regards to how it would taste, but it's good. It kind of reminds me, especially with the sauce, almost like a hamburger helper type thing. I'm just equating everything to these boxed meals that I used to eat growing up, but it's kind of what it reminds me of. And it does have a little bit of a hamburger taste to it. You get the, you get obviously the ground beef inside with the onions, but then the, but the egg whites inside almost give it like a bun taste as well. So you get like this aftertaste, and it's funny now that now that I swallowed it and everything, it almost has like a fast food hamburger aftertaste. So this is a different one. The flavors are kind of popping in my mouth as it goes along, but overall pretty good. I'm pretty happy with this one. I think across the board, we didn't do so bad with this cheeseburger adventure that we try to do here on Food Deconstructed this week, but you know, I'll take this one. This is good. All right, that's it, guys. I'm Adrian Bustamante, and thank you for watching us here on Food Deconstructed this week. Please subscribe to our channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. And until next week, see ya.